and the Southern Central. Now, it's been a few weeks since we last delivered this show on Subtle Sport, but what it does mean is we've got an awful lot to cover, haven't we, Zach, this week? As always, I am joined by Zach, as I just mentioned there. Zach, how are we today, mate?
Yeah, I'm very good. How are you?
I'm not too bad, mate. I'll be honest, it's been a busy couple of weeks with work, and I ran a half marathon, and now I've stupidly decided to do a high rocks as well. So I did some high rocks training this morning. So I'm not feeling the most energetic, but here we are. But look, as I said at the start of the show, we have a lot to cover this week, don't we, mate? You know, across the respective divisions. And I think the best thing to do is just jump straight into it and kick it off with the Ishmian League, mate, because what has been going on over the last couple of weeks down there?
Well, firstly, I think Brentwood have basically almost all wrapped up the league now already. Folkestone.
Yeah.
48 points from 19 games. Just beat Brentwood on the weekend. 54 goals scored in 19 games, only conceded 17. They're completely running away with it now. I think they've got one of the best squads in the league. They don't need much more added to the squad. I think, very much already won the title. Bottom four at the moment, you've got Potters Bar, Canvey, Welling, Hashtag. Hashtag got a big win on Saturday with a 3-0 win, with a hat-trick from Troy May Parrott, who I think I've always said should have been playing more.
Mm-hmm.
With Bradley Sack now going to Welling, he's now sort of the main attacker. I think that'll really benefit them. Potters Bar, only 3 wins this season, rock bottom of the league. And I think, they'll very much go down, although did beat St Albans the other week. But I think that's sort of the main talking points at the moment.
Yeah, it's been a little bit quiet in terms of the Ishmian, where you have it's similar in Southern, I guess, a little bit because you have Folkestone running away with it at the top, and then similar in the Southern, you've got Harbour and Spalding just levels above everyone else as well. Now I'll touch on Hashtag just quickly, right? Because I did this prep. This podcast was meant to be a little bit earlier, but I had Wi-Fi connection issues over the weekend. But with Hashtag, when I was doing this prior to this win that they got over the weekend, they were looking in serious trouble, weren't they? Because I think their last win before that was that shock win over Folkestone. But it kind of papered over so many cracks, didn't it? Because they then went and lost 6-0 to Chatham, 4-1 to Ramsgate, drew to Dulwich and Lewis, and they find themselves still in that relegation battle. But I guess that win has given them that confidence boost a little bit, hasn't it?
Yeah, 100%. I think hopefully for Hashtag it pushes them on, but it was a win against a weak Canvey side who we've spoken about many times. I think Brentwood up next is going to be a very tough game for them. But they've got Chichester, which is a must-win. Then we've got 3 massive games against Aveley, Billericay, Dartford, which is an awful run to have. I think they could easily pick up no points from that, but also you see them go and beat Folkestone, you can see them picking up all 9 points.
No, exactly.
Such an unpredictable side this season.
It is, and it's probably a wrong time to play Dartford as well. I mean, they lost to Lewis at the weekend, but before that, they've started kicking on a little bit more, haven't they, now?
Yeah, 100%. Dartford have been sort of one of the strongest sides at the moment. I think last 10 games, they've got 19 points and the third most informed side in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think you don't want to be facing Dartford at the moment. Same with Aveley, second most informed side over the last 10 games.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be a very tough for them.
Yeah, and I mean, the relegation battle then, because you've got, like you said there, Potters Bar well off the pace at the moment, even though they did beat St Albans. You've got Canvey Island, who had a little bit of a run, but have now fallen off again. Welling have obviously signed Bradley Satch, who could score some goals for them. Potters Bar themselves has signed Leon Ledgebit from Bedford. Yeah. I mean, you look at that bottom four at the moment, Hashtag Welling, Canvey, Potters Bar. Do you think it's very much, if you were to put your house on it now, who would go down as out of those 4?
The thing with me is with Welling United, I cannot see them at step 4. The club of that size, I think they'll end up staying up because they're a massive club. They're in the National League only 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So I can't see that. I think it'll be Chichester will get dragged into it, or Cheshunt. Potters Bar, I just look at their squad and they should not be down there.
Mm-hmm.
They've signed Leon Ledgebit and Femi Akewande. Them 2 up front should be able to absolutely score enough goals to keep them up, but they're so far behind. It's going to be an absolute mission for them to stay up.
No, definitely. I mean, I'm looking at it now, and I think the team that sadly would get dragged into it a little bit is Chichester. Now they've obviously had some difficulties off the pitch this season, haven't they? But in terms of the football on the pitch in recent weeks, it's been really, I mean, downhill, and losing to Cray Valley doesn't help at all, does it?
Yeah, I've said I could see Cheshunt also getting pulled into there, but I look at Cheshunt's squad. I think there's enough quality to keep them up.
Mm. And I'm going to turn quickly then to the top of the table. Obviously, look, we've got Folkestone running away with it. They've still got a game in hand as well. And I'm looking at now, they're, 9 points clear of Brentwood. You look at that then, Brentwood, Chatham, Dartford, Cray Wanderers, Averley, Burgess Hill are in there as well. What sort of teams do you think stand a real chance at making this playoff positions? So probably some that didn't think they'd be in there.
I think Chatham will push themselves into the playoffs. I think they only lost one in the last 5, and that was against St Albans. But yeah, they won 4-0 against Burgess Hill, which is a fantastic result. But Burgess Hill being a strong side. Well, my sort of dark horse at the moment, although they're currently 12, is Wingate and Finchley.
Mm-hmm.
Only 2 losses in the last 14 league games. They started the season abysmally, but now they're only 6 points off playoffs. Billericay have started to pick up form a bit more now, started to get ticking. So I still think the playoffs will be Brentwood, Chatham, Dartford, then one of Billericay, Wingate, Aveley for our final position.
Mm. And I'm guessing that means all hope on Saints is gone now, then, isn't it, mate?
That's my current feeling at the moment. I think they'll be mid-table.
Yeah, obviously we'll talk more about Saints later on, but just to quickly touch on them, then it's been an iffy patch of form, hasn't it, since we were last on?
Yeah, it's just we've struggled to get going. We've had so many injuries, and we've just been too slow to bring anyone in. And it's just been youngsters we've brought in on loan. And we beat Chatham 4-1 away, which is a fantastic result. When we follow it up by losing 2-1 to Potts Bar, which is abysmal. Also lost 4-3 to Burgess Hill. To be fair, 1 second I thought that was going to be 10-0 to Burgess Hill when we were 3-0 down in 3 minutes. But pulled it back to 3-3 in the last minute and conceded in the last minute as well. So yeah, I just think we're a very erratic side, and can't see us doing much.
No, and then obviously, look, we spoke about in the past as well about players coming in, but now you've got new managers in, a couple of new players have joined, but is there still that room for improvement? I mean, there obviously is, because you're languishing in mid-table.
Yeah, we've got, I think, 2 defenders available at the moment. So I think we need to, I'd be very surprised if we don't bring at least 1 or 2 defenders and a centre forward by Saturday. Gary McCann, in his post-match interview after Potter's Bar, said, I want to bring in some players as soon as possible, and he'll talk to the director of football. So, yeah, if we don't have any new signings come the weekend, I think there's trouble on the wall.
100%. I mean, look, is there anything else then on the Ishmian you want to touch on before we move to the Southern?
No, not really. I think we're ready to move into the Southern.
Perfect. Then look, let's move into it then, mate. And look, as I've mentioned already, look, we're fully aware, that Spalding and Harborough are the runaways in this division, and I'll touch on them later. But elsewhere, I want to look at other teams before that. Now, obviously, Corn are continuing their amazing run. We've sung their praises all season. They just followed it up as well with a win over Needham Market. They are looking really, really strong now. Redditch had crept their way into this position, into the playoff positions. They're having a really solid season, and then all of a sudden they meet the top 2. They lose to Harborough 2-0, and then lose 7-0 at home to Spalding. I mean, Spalding are scoring goals for fun now. If Spalding can tighten up at the back a little bit more, they're gonna. They could have that edge over Harborough, because Harborough's defensive record is a joke this season. I think they've only conceded 9 goals or something like that so far. And Spalding are just scoring goals for fun. And when they've got players like Jack Roberts and Barty Busky up front, they're going to score past anyone. A team I want to quickly go in more depth on, though, is Worcester, because I think a lot of people had them to probably struggle a little bit. And they did at first, to life at step 3, being lower mid-table, just above the drop and so forth. But now, just 2 losses, I believe, in their last 10. They have turned their fortunes around. And with how tight this league is, similar to the Ishmian League in their playoff positions as well, they could just creep in there, find themselves not too far away from it. And they've just conceded, 19 goals, I think it is, this season, which is the joint best in the division, second best, in the division with Real Bedford and Harbour, which shows how well they're doing defensively. But they also score goals, 32 also this campaign, more than Kettering, more than Harbour, more than Redditch, more than Real Bedford, and so many more teams. It's definitely a team to keep your eye on. Any other teams, Zach, in the Southern that you've picked up on before I speak about the top two?
Well, I was really looking at Spalding and Harbour because they're just going toe to toe, blowing the league away. Needham have been ticking along. Obviously, they lost to Corn, but before that, they've been doing well.
Yeah.
I think they're a very just well organised side. Had Worcester down as well. Even Hales Owen, they're doing well
Yeah,
at the
they're
moment.
clicking again now, yeah.
They've only lost 2 since they got knocked out of the FA Trophy, so I think, Hales Owen will get. Then also Real Bedford keep ticking along. Obviously, they lost to Leiston, but they're picking up important wins everywhere. So I personally don't think Worcester will get into the playoffs. I think it'll be Real Bedford, Needham, Corn, and whoever doesn't win the title between Harbour
Yeah.
and Spalding. So I think it's a very good top of the league. I think this might be one of the strongest the Southern Central has been over the last few years.
100%. And Harbour, I'm just looking at now, look, they've got 3 games in hand still on Spalding. They're 4 points back. But I mean, just look at how many goals Spalding has scored this season, 56 goals. But the flip side of that, they've conceded 24, where Harbour have conceded just 9. Like I said, I'll talk on Spalding now then, but if they tighten up at the back a little bit more because they've got such good attacking prowess in their fullbacks that leave them a little bit exposed at the back. I mean, I know Ben Hart really well from his days at Kettering, but he's an attacking fullback, which leaves Spalding a little bit up against it, I guess, in the back line. But they are, like you said there, you summed it up perfectly. They are going toe for toe, and you can't really call yet who's going to win it, can you?
No, absolutely not. I think the big game will be when they play each other. It's also going to be a title decider. But even Spalding conceded 24 goals in 21. That's not even a bad record.
No, exactly. No, it's not. It's just Harbour's is just a joke.
But obviously, with the games in hand, it could work against them because obviously they're going to have quite a bit of fixture congestion coming up.
Yeah, exactly that. There is that. I mean, I think the big one for me was Spalding going to Redditch, a team that were well in form, and winning 7-0 away from home. I mean, I've spoke about the guy so many times, but Jack Roberts is an absolute joke. I mean, if Spalding, for whatever reason, don't go up this season, I know he signed a contract extension at the start. I think it was back in September, but there is no chance he plays step-free football next season. Is there anyone else then, mate? Because obviously you spoke about the likes of Hales Owen there. They've done really well. I think Leiston as well, looking really strong. Yeah. I don't think I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna agree with you in terms of the playoff positions. Really, I mean, Spalding and Harbour are definitely in there. Obviously, whatever one doesn't win the title, Corn are looking pretty set unless they have a collapse. Needham Market, I mean, they're a good side. They're ticking along quite nicely. And then I think Real Bedford probably just sneak in there as well ahead of Redditch, and then Hales Owen miss out, and obviously Kettering are miles away from it, so we don't need to talk about them. Is there anything else then?
No, not really. I think Sudbury have actually really picked up form at the moment. 5 league games unbeaten, including getting a point away to Harbour.
That's a big one.
So I think
that was a big one.
Could see them sneak it and stay up. They always seem to manage to stay up by the skin of their teeth, although they've got big off the pitch problems, it seems like. But only 6 points off Alvechurch now. Which,
and Alvechurch themselves have had a massive fall off since I last spoke about them. I mean, they were flying at one point and now they're right back down there. I wanted to bring up then just quickly some pre-season stuff today, because obviously we are now basically at the halfway stage or over the halfway stage, now being in December, coming up to Christmas time. I was looking through my predictions last week. I had a good little laugh to myself because some of them were way off. You know, I had Stamford in 6th. I had Bury to come bottom. I mean, they're still just above the relegation zone, but they're doing really well for themselves. I think Kettering coming 3rd obviously looks bad on the face of it as well. But I also, I did it as a Twitter post at the start of the season as well, and I was looking at some of the people that commented on it as well, and some of them had some howlers just as bad as me. I had someone saying Royston will stay up with ease, and I saw why people were saying Royston would stay up with ease because they had such good quality, especially in the forward areas. But for whatever reason this season, it has not clicked at all. And they find themselves bottom. And I'm going to take, so far, touch wood, a win on that one because I had them going down. And I had a Harbour fan saying that Stamford would make the top 5 and Kettering would be in a relegation fight. And at one point, it was looking like Kettering would be in a relegation fight. But we pulled away from it a little bit more. I mean, has there been any shocks, I guess, in the Ishmian or even the Southern Central then, Zach, from your predictions?
Well, I've just pulled up my predictions right now. And yeah, okay, I think I've got a fair bit wrong. Burgess Hill bottom. Absolutely wrong. Redfield fighting for playoffs. That's a shock. Carshalton up at 20th, they're mid-table. Canvey Island up at 19th. That could be right. Hashtag 6th. I think I've got that one completely wrong. St Albans 4th. Could still happen, but I think that might
unlikely.
Be a bit then Welling, everyone was saying me I put Welling too low at 13th. I think Welling fans would 100% take 13th right now.
I was going to say you didn't put them low enough.
Then Dulwich 16th. I got a bit worried at the start of the season when they were flying. I think they'll be mid-table.
Yeah.
To bang average at the moment. So, yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at a couple of my other ones as well. I mean, Stourbridge in 8th.
Yeah, Billericay top. Don't think that's happening, but it's a surprise.
Yeah. I mean, my playoff positions, I had Harbour to win the league, Spalding winning the playoffs, obviously Kettering 3rd, Rail Bedford 4th, and Needham 5th. So the playoff positions aren't too dissimilar. Obviously, Kettering have underperformed this season so far. But I had my overperformers this season as Corn, and I think I'll take the win on that one so far because they are flying. Anything else then, mate, before we move on?
No, I don't think so.
Perfect. Well, let's talk about then, because I obviously said there that it's, basically the halfway stage of the season now, and we're coming up to Christmas. So I thought it'd be a good moment to talk about some of the best players of the season so far in both the leagues. And I'll let you go first then, Zach. Who have been the top performers in the Ishmian so far?
So I've got 5 players for the Ishmian. Sam Sene Richardson at Chatham. Plays out on the left. EFL clubs already interested in him. Absolutely tears teams apart. Has increased his goal output from last season as well. I think he's got 5 or 6 goals.
Mm-hmm.
He's just fantastic player to watch. Like whenever I watch their highlights, he's been their best player. Only 18, runs circles around teams. Then my other one, Ollie Box at Dartford, another young player. I think he's 19, 20, attacker. I think he's one of the top goal scorers at the moment. Has been their best player, creates, scores. Then I've gone for Gianluca Botti at Wingate and Finchley. He's young, he's like 23, but he's a proper old school, big lock centre forward. Bullies around, gets some key goals, works so hard. Has had a couple of spells in the National League South, hasn't always worked out, but he's always scored. Always been a bit of a fan of him. I think, they've got him working hard. Then also, top goal scorer in the league, Daniel Ogunleye from Brentwood. So dangerous, so quick. Finisher, has it all in attack. I put one St Albans player in, Leo Seri. Because Leo's been, out of all the signings over summer, he was actually one I was probably against for most because I wasn't a fan of him when he was at Hendon. But he's proved everyone completely wrong. Being an absolute standout and has been a brilliant signing from the club.
Yeah.
Has been our top goal scorer. Always comes in with clutch goals. If we're out of a game, he'll come in with a last minute equaliser, whether it's like a flick on, a header, or just a general good finish. He's there. So, be a very important player for us.
No, 100%. I mean, when it comes to the Southern League, then, I mean, I kind of struggled in terms of finding all-rounded players because a lot of the quality this season from the Southern has come in the forward lines. I mean, there's six or seven players who've got over 10 goals already this season. You've got 2 running away with 15. You've got Bart Sabuski on 14 as well. So a couple of players I picked out. Obviously, look, Jack Roberts. I mean, probably the best player in the division this season. Joint top goal scorer with Jason Cowley, who's another one that I'll talk on in a minute. But 15 goals, a number of assists to add as well. But he's much more than just his goals and assists. The way he runs at a player, his technical ability, driving at a man, being able to take him on, second to none. And like I said earlier, if for whatever reason Spalding are not in step 2 next season, I see no way Jack Roberts plays for them or stays in step 3. Sorry. Josh Allen at Real Bedford. He obviously went off like a rocket. Sorry, slowed down a little bit in the last couple of weeks, but still really, really strong. Been good at this level for a few seasons now, and excelling in a Real Bedford side. 11 goals in the mix as well. Arguably one of the best players in the league again. Jason Cowley started his Hales Owen career a little bit slowly, and Hales Owen last season losing the likes of Connor T, Kieran Donnelly to Boston United as well. They had to replace those goals and that output. And there was a little bit of doubt on Jason Cowley because he'd played at a higher level, but never hit the heights as such, maybe. And he's come to Hales Owen after an adaptation period at the start. He's now firing in the goals and probably the best striker in the division at the moment. Obviously, Jack Roberts plays out wide a little bit more. And then I'm going to throw a little bit of a rogue one in there to try and balance it out a little bit. And I'm going to throw Lewis White in to the mix from Spalding. Now, I spoke about Spalding's defensiveness earlier, but I think the reason I'm going to throw him into the mix is probably because he doesn't get the recognition that he deserves from Spalding fans or throughout his career. He's really not really, because even at Kettering, he was not looked at as one of the not getting the recognition he deserved, I guess, from managers or fan base at times. But he's been a consistent and solid player for Spalding this season. And you can put him in there with other ex-Kettering players, Connor Johnson, Ben Hart. I mean, they all teamed up for a goal against Redditch the other week, which just shows once upon a time Kettering had some decent players, which we don't have anymore. But White, yeah, like I said, probably doesn't get the respect he deserves, hence why I'm going to call him out here a little bit. Is there anyone then, Zach, I guess on the flip side of it, that's disappointed you this season in the Ishmian?
I don't really have any standout disappointments. It's always hard in this league to sort of work out who a disappointment is. In terms of just pure teams, it's Welling United as a disappointment. Yeah. Like, they should not have... My biggest crazy point is with them, they've already gone through over 50 players this season.
Jesus
like, their
Christ.
shirt numbers are over mid-50s now.
That's mental.
I think hashtag as well have been sort of a disappointment. And like, although he got a hat trick, Luke May Parrott has sort of, I think he's been underused by hashtag. He's something last season I was thinking he should be getting a move up to step 2 this season, but he's barely been used. But obviously now with the hat trick on Saturday, hopefully this pushes him on. But yeah, there's been no real standout disappointments for me.
No, I agree. I agree. In terms of an individual, there's probably not been too many disappointments. But when you look at teams, I mean, I'm going to throw bias in there, obviously, but Kettering have been massively disappointing. Yeah. I think Hales Owen at one stage of the season, obviously they're turning it around a little bit more now, but at one stage in the season they were disappointing. And I think one of the biggest disappointments has to be the bottom two, which are Stamford and Royston, because two teams that have been in this division consistently over the last couple of years. Stamford pushing on for playoff positions at times as well. Same with Stourbridge as well. But I think Royston probably the biggest disappointment in the league this season. 10 points off Alvechurch now, and it's not looking good for them at all. All right then, mate. Let's move on then to some upcoming games, because obviously it's coming into that business part of the season. You know, December, Christmas schedules, busy. Cup games come back into action again as well. I mean, what sort of games are you looking out for, mate?
So I think Dartford versus Folkestone. Be interested whether Dartford could probably slow down the leaders. Welling versus Potters Bar is one I'm really looking at. It's very much a relegation 6-pointer. Bradley Sack up front for Welling. Akinwande and Liam Leisure up front for Potters Bar. That could be a very big game. And also Chatham versus Whitehawk, very much a momentum test for Chatham, where they can keep on ticking along and not drop silly points like they did against us.
No, definitely. I mean, I'm looking at the Southern, and most of the big games over the next week or so really do come at that bottom end of the table. You've got Stamford versus Sudbury. Now you spoke about Sudbury earlier, saying how they've kind of turned their fortunes around, and fair play to them for everything that's going on off the pitch with them this season. So that will be a massive game for them. Going to Stamford, who, quite ironically, the only team they've done well against this season is Kettering. We played twice against them and lost and drew, so that's always fun. And then Corner Redditch, another one in that playoff position that looks quite interesting. And then I guess another relegation candidate fight being Royston and Stourbridge. That's what this week really looks like, because it's showing that there's a lot to play, in particular in the relegation scraps. There's 6 points separating Sudbury and Overchurch, but that can quickly turn around. Overchurch just a couple of weeks ago were in playoff contention, one of the most informed teams in the league. Now they're scraping relegation battles. It's a long week ahead for some of these teams, isn't it? And I'm looking forward to seeing how the relegation battle commences a little bit. I'll just quickly touch on them because I've just got up. Obviously, I mentioned there that the FA Trophy comes back it's this weekend or in a couple of days. Looking at that then, mate, there's not too many sides, obviously, from both our leagues in it, but what are you looking at and as some of the big fixtures?
Harbour versus Carlisle United.
Yeah.
Big trip down for Carlisle. Harbour obviously don't concede many. Carlisle, obviously, Mark Hughes as manager for the Premier League. That could be a very good game. If Harbour managed to win that, I think that's a very much statement of intent from them.
Yeah.
That's sort of the main one I was looking at. Chatham at home versus Plymouth Parkway. You'd expect Chatham to easily win that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not many teams from the Ishmian and Southern South playing this weekend as well.
No, exactly. I mean, Harbour versus Carlisle is probably the biggest game in the FA Trophy. You've got the high flying team in Step 3, the high flying team at the top, at the top end of the National League as well. And then all of a sudden, I guess it depends what each team thinks of this competition, doesn't it? Yeah. Because what's Carlisle's prerogative going to be? They're going to want to get back into Football League as fast as possible. And being a long trip down, they could easily go with a weakened side, which could play in Harbour's favour massively in this game. So don't be surprised if there's an upset there. I'm looking at a couple of other ones. I mean, I think Macclesfield will go to South Shields with a weakened side after being drewed against Crystal Palace in the FA Cup as well. I know that's still a few weeks away, but all eyes will be on that for them now. And I guess Boreham Wood versus Brackley potentially could be all right.
I think we'll sneak through that one.
Yeah, exactly. And
versus Sutton.
Yeah, true.
Two teams who very much play total football out the back. So that could be an exciting one to watch.
Yeah, most definitely. And I guess as well, one more as well, Dagenham and Redbridge versus Hanwell. Now, Hanwell in this competition have knocked out yourselves. They've knocked out Merthyr. Could they do another good result here against Dagenham, who have kind of switched it on a little bit in recent weeks, haven't they, in the National League South? So, and Andy Carroll's finally ticking as well.
Showed up.
I mean, let's round it off there, mate, with St Kettering and St Albans talk, because we always do this, and it's always fun to see how bad we're both doing. I mean, the optimism from the start of the season, where we were both looking at the playoffs, both looking at a title, perhaps. I mean, maybe that optimistic, but it's just let's just write it off now, isn't it, mate?
Yeah. Or have we spoken since we appointed Gary McCann?
I don't think so. I don't think so. In proper no. So talk to me about that.
I'm very happy with that because McCann is someone who will sort of stand up for himself. You saw it at Hampton and stuff like that. He isn't afraid to go to a post-match interview and say it how it is, and that's what I'm sort of excited for. Because I always felt like Coldhouse always held back a little bit, and sort of just tried to play the game. I'm kind of excited for in 12 months' time, once McCann has had enough.
Are you giving it 12 months? Are you giving it as that long for him to lose his head?
But, I think we're just really shaky at the moment. Defence is shaky. Like I've said it before, I don't think Kieran Gaultier is a Ishmian League level defender. He's a kid who should probably have more experience and time at Step 4 out on loan.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't be having because we have Mariappa, Boswick, and Fifield three centre backs are all probably should be levels above, but they're all injured, which is
Yeah.
our luck this season. Jack James and James Sweet, two of our right backs are injured. So we have Lewis Page, Aloni, and Kieran Gaultier as our defenders at the moment.
Mm.
And there needs to be more urgency to bring players in. We need to get more loans in. It's just, yeah, on the pitch isn't good. Off the pitch, attendances have seriously plummeted.
Mm.
It was 350 the other week against Burgess Hill, which was shambolic attendance, lowest
Yeah.
attendance in the league game since 2019. So yeah, that isn't great.
Mm.
Obviously, our brand new head of media left in under 2 months, which just simply we've had 6 head of medias, I want to say,
Yeah.
in the last 2 years, 2-3 years. Yeah, I think it's a complete shit show behind the scenes. On the
Yeah.
pitch, somehow it's 10 times better than how it is off the pitch, and we're 10th in the league. Just so up and down form wise, it's not a good feeling around
No.
that moment. Although they've done the 15 quid deal for the next 3 games, but I think it'll go back to being 16.50 and 18 quid
Yeah.
after Christmas, which it just does not feel like happy days at the moment.
No. And then just quickly as well, was the Burgess Hill one, was that the game that was doing its rounds on Twitter for the gates closing early or whatever it was?
Yeah, gates shut early due to lack of staff. But although it shouldn't cost money when you could have volunteers working the turnstiles if you hadn't pissed them all off. That's another point. I've also emailed the club appealing my blocking this week. Still waiting for a response. Could be 6 months until I get a response, but oh well.
It could be a while. You may be waiting a while. I mean, Christmas is around the corner, like, so
yeah.
It's always it's a fun time to be a St Albans fan, that's for sure. Then I mean, I guess the only positive is you're not in a relegation battle at the moment.
Yeah, at the moment.
And you can hold on to the getting to the FA Cup first round. I mean, that was always a big moment as well for the club going up against a Burton Albion side. I mean, there has been positives along the way, hasn't there, this season? But it's been one that maybe not for the history books.
Yeah, but it sums up our season when your manager leaves 3 days before that game.
Yeah, I mean, it does. You make a good point.
It's not been a fun season.
No, you're right.
Not happy season for the good ones.
No, exactly. And it's definitely not been a happy season or a good season either up north, further up north, sorry, with Kettering. I mean, I'll just quickly touch on it because I think the last time we spoke, Liam McDonald had just been appointed or he'd just played his first game or something like that. And he went on a bit of a bad spell. We beat Corn, which was a good result. And then it was met with 3 straight losses to Spalding. Okay, you probably kind of expect it to Spalding, but then we got our arse handed to us by Bromsgrove and then losing to Stamford as well, which on the face of it, really, really poor to lose to those 2 teams. But no one put it down to Liam because obviously a new manager coming in, trying things. He needed to work out his squad. He needed to work out who he wanted to keep, who he wanted to get rid of. Obviously, the last couple of games, he's got rid of a few players. Connor Stanley's gone to Worcester. Shane Flynn's left as well. He's brought a couple of players in. Eddie Panther from Bedford, which looks like a good signing, scored on his debut against Stourbridge in that 5-0 win. So a couple of new signings have come in and are looking a little bit better, taking the plaudits a little bit more, but it's definitely been a roller coaster of the season so far, and I definitely can't see us making the playoffs at the moment. There's still hope. There's still some sort of hope, but I just don't see it happening. And there's tough games. We've got Harborough on, I believe it's Boxing Day. I'm just going to check the fixtures now very quickly, but I believe we've got Harborough on Boxing Day because I have been asked to go down to that. But do I want to put myself through that pain? I don't know. So we've got Bury at home, which we realistically should win. We've got Royston then at home again, which we realistically should win. And then Harborough away, which will be a very, very difficult game. I mean, I don't even know what to say about it at the moment. I mean, there's a lot of talk about owners, a lot of talk in the on the fan forums and so forth on Facebook, talking bad about the owners and how they've got us into this mess. But from last year where it was such a high to be a part of the club, to this year it's been a polar opposite, a complete change. And again, like St Albans, I think we just write the season off now and we rebuild and we go again. I mean, it all started from Nile Ranger at the start of the season. I mean, we should have known then that it would be a roller coaster of a year. And by the way, Nile Ranger has not been doing that great at Wellingborough, so it fills us with a little bit of happiness.
I've just had a little look at our upcoming games. We've got Chichester at home, Dartford away, Wingate at home, and Chatham away. I can't predict us at the moment.
No, and this is the thing.
I can feel us losing 3-0 at home to Chichester and going to beat Dartford 4-0 away. That's at the moment. So,
yeah. I mean, the next 4 games, like I said there, I mean, like Bury, we should realistically win at home. Royston being at home as well, we should win, but you just never know, man. You just never know. Harborough, I'm writing off already. Like I said, I've been invited to go down to that game, but I don't know if I want to put myself through that pain just yet. And then we take on Stratford again, another team in the bottom end. So the fixtures, barring Harborough, are quite nice to us, but we'll have to see what changes come, because I think Liam will still add to the squad. When he made his first interview, it was very much a manager that will not bite his tongue, and he will go out and get what he wants when he wants. And I think that's what this season needs a little bit. Zach, is there anything else you want to cover at all before we round off, mate?
No, I think that's it all covered.
Perfect. I mean, let's round it off there. Zach, thank you as always. Just give people a little reminder where they can find you on socials and what you do over there, because it's been a while.
Yeah, so at Non-Leagues Chat on Twitter, it should be under Non-League Expert as well. Just general stuff on Twitter. I've very much slowed down at the moment because I've just basically had enough of Twitter, but hopefully over Christmas I'll start posting a lot more. That's sort of like New Year's resolution as well.
Good stuff. And of course, thank you to everyone who has tuned in once more to Below the Pyramid. We will try and do one more episode before Christmas. So hopefully we will see you then soon. Be sure to follow us across all the social platforms to keep posted. But until next time, we will see you later.